I don't think a company is going to start trying to value an AI over like a true human eye. It just might not be as many.
The machines have like a end goal in mind, and I think that like when you have an artistic vision that you can impose on the end goal, you make the end goal even better. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Like
true.
you've seen how your AI came out. A lot of them motherfuckers is cross-eyed and the background's all types of
Cross-eyed, my
fucked up.
hands are fucking crazy. And the thing
Right.
is that if I had asked a human to do that and they presented that same work, you would think that they were drunk.
Cash on the beat.
What up, everybody? It's the Well-Spoken Token coming at you again with another episode. Yo! So happy to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for clicking the link. Thank you so much for checking out the page. Whether you're on Spotify, Apple Music, whether you're any of these platforms, if you're checking us out on YouTube and you're looking at the pretty faces, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's the holiday season, so you might be hearing this right around or right before or right after Christmas. Either way, I hope that you had a fantastic time with your family. I hope that you've been enjoying all the awesome gifts that you got or have not received yet. Hope you're excited for all that shit. I know I is. As always, or sometimes, or maybe not ever, I've got my brother with me. What's up, bro? Say what up to the people, brother.
Yeah, that was a nice little all-encompassing fucking, intro that you did.
Oh,
man.
yeah, no, I
I'm very
gave it
proud
up.
of you. You
Thank
did
you,
the
thank you.
thing.
I
You
know.
did the thing. After a year, you finally got around to doing the thing.
I
See you
appreciate
adjusting
that.
old belt line right there, boy. How you feeling, man?
Yeah, fat boy, yeah, that's me. Nah, really though. Ladies and gentlemen, I hit you with all that energy because I didn't want you to feel like this was some kind of like drastic ass, fucking somber ass situation. Your boy had a little medical emergency, but it was real like minor. I had a little scuffle up with my appendix. It decided it wanted out of me. So it didn't want to wait for the eviction notice, didn't give a nigga 30 days or nothing. It just said, bow, boom, bam, get me the fuck out of here, boy.
Trying to dress up your appendix is a shitty tenant. It's kind of fucked up, especially in times like these.
God said,
I mean?
your body is a temple, nigga. Your body is a temple.
Your body's a temple, except for when you need to fucking take your pain meds. But that's beside the point.
Yeah, fuck some pain meds, man. I'm not trying to be no fucking fiend.
You so scared of being a junkie.
Hey, look, man, it's an American crisis, bro. As they continue to tell us. Now, mind you, as a nigga that fought against the war on drugs for all those goddamn years, I can't necessarily say that the opioid crisis might not be a slight bit of like a fucking propaganda bullshit fest. But at the same time, I'm like, some niggas are really getting out here like, yo, I had a back surgery and now I'm addicted to fucking painkillers, Yo,
right. I don't know what shit you're reading out there that's got you like shook like that, but I'm gonna let you live. All right, that's your
I'm
thing.
saying every nigga on soft white underbelly, every nigga.
What black people do you know that are addicted to narcotics? All right, fuck
it. I know a lot of powder heads, nigga.
Yeah, powder heads. You're not getting powder from the doctor.
I know a lot of niggas. Hey, now mind you, everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm over here talking about like narcos and shit like that. I'm getting Tylenol 3s. Like, fuck HIPAA. Like, it's not like I'm really getting anything exceptionally narcotic. It's like,
no, but you're so scared of being a junkie. Anything that got an ounce of fucking Oxycontin in it, you're like, ooh, nah, I can't do that.
That's codeine. That's wrong. That's the drink of my people, or at least that's the drink
in
of the
liquid form. I think you're just real particular about the administration of the drug.
Yeah, no, I like to be very particular about how if I'm gonna ingest the drug, then I'd like to know. Now, mind you, while I was hooked up to all them IVs, I couldn't necessarily tell them what the fuck to give me because I'm just like, get this motherfucking appendix up out of me.
Right.
I was in the crib. I woke up that morning. I was like, oh no. I tried everything on pain. I tried a bath on pain. I tried everything. Worked everything. Everything didn't work except for fucking laying on the goddamn floor. I laid on the floor flat. I was like, oh, this is right about where I need to be. And that's exactly where my fiance found me.
Ginger ale and lay down
on the floor. He's like, you need to go to the hospital. I was like, okay, cool. Went in there. It took him 15 minutes to be like, yeah, you need to get that appendix up out of you.
You get that motherfucker up out of
here. So they jumped me in an ambulance. I ran up all the way up 30 miles to a real fucking hospital because, in small towns, they got like, little minor fake hospitals.
Niggas work over there. You talking shit.
Hey, look, I love them. I'm probably gonna. Oh shit! I
You
almost
almost
did
dropped
it
their
to him,
name,
boys.
right?
I almost did it to him, boys.
Don't do it to him.
I almost gave it to him. I almost gave him the sauce, but no. Seriously, like in small towns, you got like 1 or 2 hospitals, and usually it's only one, and that shit's only equipped to handle like a couple of things. Like if you lived where Dad lived, like where I positive 1 hospital, and they're like,
Yeah,
you don't go,
no, and
it'll
they
kill
not
you.
prepared for shit.
No,
Hence
not
the
at all.
result. But beside the point,
Oof,
yeah, that's morbid
that
dark.
nigga's morbid and dark. But it's beside the point. Yeah, I got my appendix taken out. So I'm a little bit on the mend, y'all. So I'm trying to give y'all as best as possible. If you see a nigga on the camera looking down at his shit, grabbing his fucking belt area,
My
it's just him
stomach.
trying to check his incisions and his wounds, y'all. It's not even really big of a problem. It's like week one on the mend, and I'm feeling good. I
That's
can't
crazy.
lift nothing apparently.
You know, EDP actually just got jammed up with some kidney failure.
God damn.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if this is really the forum to talk about not talking shit about people who are currently dying.
Yeah,
But
right. God damn.
you
Oh,
know what I mean?
oh. Hey,
Yeah.
look, it happens though. The weird thing about it is, dog, is your body, man. Your body, man. I turned 30, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, a month later, it's time to get that appendix out, yo.
Let's give
Time
you a
to
little
really
drip
be
drop
thinking
of
about it.
stuff.
I got
Crisis.
insurance. I started scheduling appointments I never even thought about. I got a wart that grew. I was like, hey, let me get that looked at. It's on my head. It's not like it's anywhere sexual, but like
Yeah, right. It's not a
it's
sexy ward. It's
It's
just a
not a
regular
sexy
ass
wart. It's just like a regular ass. Let me go to the fucking dermatologist wart. And never in my life did I think I'd be like, yeah, let me go to the
I
dermatologist.
mean, they sell like over the counter wart med, right?
Yeah, but I don't know what kind of warts they trying to get rid of. And I'm like, hell,
Look at what we doing after Rhea.
right after Rhea is like, yeah, talk about the warts.
Yeah, talk about the wart.
The warts.
Look at it. We looking at some of our most successful content that we've ever put out, and you already talk about the wart.
And the first thing we want to get into within 15 minutes of the pod is wart game. Wart game.
Shout out to
Nah.
the wart.
Either way, yo, I'm fine. This nigga was worried about me. Everybody was worried about. I'm kidding. I was really worried about me. It's my first surgery. I've never been under the knife. I never even went to sleep. I've never been in the office except for like a tooth situation. I wouldn't really even
But
sleep
yeah, but
there.
nobody put you under.
Yeah, but I was sitting there thinking, oh shit, if what I went through at the dentist is what it's supposed to be like when I go fucking get this appendix taken out of me, I was semi-conscious. Like I
Nah, but
just closed
dentists are
my eyes.
dickheads because they're like if your insurance ain't right, they're not gonna put you under for the fucked up ass tooth surgery they about to give you. They probably
Nah,
just
they
gonna be
gonna
like,
keep
oh,
you
here's some local anesthesia. You're gonna be awake for the whole thing. You might feel a little pressure and
a
occasionally
little
some
pressure.
pain.
I hate that shit. You gonna feel a little pressure. Also, I'm starting to work my way over my fear of needles, man. Because that ass, like my second day in the motherfucking hospital, right? Like I'm like they got me hooked up with a lead, right? So I'm cooling. I'm like, bet now, y'all. I'm deathly afraid of fucking needles. Like when I was 2 years old, like I walked in the motherfucking. I toddled into the motherfucking pediatrician's office with my mom's. And they're like, you want to give some shots? And I kicked the motherfucking syringe, and that shit raked my whole leg. I had like a whole like scar shit when I was little. I'm obviously fucking grown ass man. But either way, so since then, in my brain, my subconscious is like, nah, nigga, needles is death. So they
I mean,
had me hooked up
it's a
with a
light
lead.
little scratch.
It was in my arm already. I was used to it. I had already slept the night with that motherfucker in my arm. So I was like, cool, bet. Let's get it. Like, y'all can give me whatever the fuck y'all need to, take blood and everything right out of here, right? That sounds good.
It's in
That
the
bitch
drink.
came in. Sorry, not that bitch.
She's a nice lady, I'm sure.
That wonderful nurse came in that morning and she was like, all right, cool, we're gonna get some blood. I was like, all right, bet. Blam, here you go. It's all right here for you. And she was like, nah, we can't get blood out of that thing. We gotta get it
We
out of
gotta
the
give you
other
another
arm.
one.
I was like, oh
I see the
no.
fear in your eyes coming back, and that's what's fucked up. It was like,
Nah,
yeah,
nigga, because like you gotta understand, man. When you start messing with the other arm over here, I got weak veins over here. The vascularity is not
that's
where
because
it's at.
you just need to like, you know what I mean? Just
Nah,
tighten that bitch up a couple
you
times.
can get me right over here in the right arm. That's where they stuck me initially. It was one stick
Yeah, that's a
over with.
jack off arm,
She
nigga. That's always their
she had
most.
to hit me with two different ones in the elbow. It didn't work. So then I had to be real with her. I was like, damn, man, gotta be fucking honest. You ever had to be honest in the doctor's office? It was some shit you scared of. You don't want to fucking tell this motherfucker this, but the only way you gonna end this situation, because she just gonna keep sticking me in this fucking elbow area. Look at your fucking face.
Hey man, look, hey, I get needles every other day. I'm supposed to get an HIV test pretty soon. I
What the
don't
fuck?
got it. I know that, but
I mean, obviously,
yeah, I
but,
don't got HIV, but I
but you
still
get
gotta get it.
exposed to blood.
I mean, you got to get one every couple years.
Okay,
You got to
because
get one
like, hey,
every 2 years. I don't care.
when I was working with them fucking kids and shit, man, strict policies and protocols,
Well, that's
man.
because
If
they be
blood is
junkies
involved,
sometimes.
what?
They be junkies sometimes.
Yeah, like some of them kids be junkies. Some of them kids have real sexual issues.
Yeah, right.
They're very confused. Look, they're
Yeah,
very confused,
poor
and they don't know
kids.
what the fuck they're doing. Poor fucking kids. But every time the blood is involved, spit is involved, they be like, "Hey, you got to go get chest." It's
Yeah,
like
my nigga,
getting
you need
bit
to get
by a rabid
shots.
dog. It's like, yo, you got to get the rabies shot in your stomach. Fuck,
Comparing like at-risk kids to rabid dogs is very fucked up, and I need
a
you to
little
really
bit,
look inside yourself.
a little bit, but it's all good. Children are
Nigga, that's
animals, man.
at-risk youth, nigga. What the fuck?
At risk youth. Nah, man, those kids were fantastic, but they had a lot of issues and problems. Man. A lot of them are doing good. I be hearing from them and shit. They're like, oh yeah, good to hear from you, man. I had a kid I knew with a third nipple. Shout out you out there in Indianapolis, dog. 3 nipples, boy, man. He was dope.
That's
He played
possibly.
domino.
You know what? It's fine. Y'all will never find them.
You never find him. It's Indianapolis. It's a small
And
state, but I mean, at the same
it's
time.
more common to see a third nipple than I'm willing to admit.
Seriously though, the genetic mutation is wilding, man. The fact
Yeah.
that you could just end up with some shit and be like, oh yeah, nah, I'm a part fucking, cat, part goddamn
I don't know
mouse.
how that happened, and I can tell you about
I'll
to
say
drop
cats
the
have
ball here.
multiple nipples, part mouse. Either way, yada yada. I had to let them know that like
You haven't
you
met a
might
nigga
have
with
to
whiskers,
if you're on my left hand, if you're on my left side, you might have to stick me in the goddamn hand, which
right?
I hate. Like, basically I learned that shit from Pops. He was like, hey, look, he just started telling motherfuckers where you could stick me. It's like if you're gonna be sticking me here, you go stick me
You
here.
just got to
So I
get
told them
resilient to the sticking, bro. You get over it
I'm
after a while.
starting to because I got poked and prodded while this motherfucker was up in me. But
Mm.
after that shit was done, man, I was like, yeah, they're gonna let me home so I can get back to it. So we took a little week off. We released a
We
fucking
never took no week
fantastic
off.
episode. We can take a week off, but
We never
I
took
didn't.
no week off. That was always planned. You just happened to get a convenient injury.
Yeah, I love it. I didn't do shit for a week.
Yeah, just say that.
I got a week off.
Yeah, we've had a very successful a couple weeks of like content. Nigga, I don't know why you sitting up there trying to tell the audience like, "Oh, I took a week off." No, you didn't. We've been taking hella weeks off.
My You're right, and I do. We do it. We do it like this now because of my my schedule, the way I like to do shit. My process involves a lot of downtime, and that's my shit. I like to go ahead and be down a little bit, and then my body said it's time to be down.
Mm.
But we're gonna be back up real soon, 100%. I guarantee. And within 2 to 3 weeks, we're gonna be fucking fantastic. I'm manifesting that shit.
I
But
don't
in
even
the
know why
midst
you
of
manifesting it that way. I hated everything about the shit you just did.
what, be 100%? You can't be 100%.
Nah, because I like we have content scheduled for the next 3 weeks. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about?
Hey, look, we're gonna gradually move up. If I feel like right now I'm at 65%, 65
That's
to
why he's fucking
70%.
right. Okay,
So,
great. Don't die here.
honestly, yeah, I don't plan on it, man. It was only a little bit scary when they pulled the tube out of my throat, like
Mm-hmm.
only a little. But all in all, man, if I'm 65% now, in a week, I feel like I'll be like 75, 80. And then in 3 weeks, I'll be 90 to 100. And then the content is only going to get better. We got 3 weeks of shit going, man. We're going to be on it. We're going to be at it. It's going to be
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. I love this shit. I live for this shit, bruh. I live for this shit, cuh.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'll take I spent this time, like I feel like I had a little downtime myself. But in that little downtime, like of course, I always do my usual shit. I consume a whole lot of fucking media. And I started like thinking, my brain gets to working and shit like that. Nigga, do you know you know who Studio MAPPA is, right? You know Studio
Of
MAPPA?
course I know who Stealing Map is, nigga.
Of course, I mean you got to, man. They're pretty much producing every goddamn, well, not every, but at least 6 AAA titles anime wise right now, dub wise. Well, not just dub wise. I mean, hell, like they're producing Chainsaw Man. They're producing One Punch Man season fucking 3. They're doing Attack on Titan fucking final season part. Whoever the fuck, I think it's part 3. Actually, it's definitely part 3. Well, excuse me, they did final season part 3 and they're doing final season part 4, which we fucking hope is the final part of the seasons. They're also doing Bleach. Like, these motherfuckers I've been contracted to basically work for the rest of their goddamn, like, the next year, 2, 3 years. These motherfuckers are gonna be glued to their goddamn desks, my nigga. Have you been keeping up with, like, are
Well,
you
I
watching
mean, I
these?
don't necessarily, I wouldn't call it like keeping up, but I do keep up with like different animes, like getting picked up by MAPPA, or like different announcements saying like, hey, MAPPA will be animating this next thing. Like Vinland Saga will be season 2 will
Vinland
be
Saga, man.
animated by fucking MAPPA, or fucking
Excited as fuck about that, but
Jujutsu
goddamn, I feel
Kaisen shit. And I'm
bad for
just
these
like, damn,
niggas.
that's a
Yo,
lot of shit.
that's a whole lot of shit. And I just got to think, I'm like, damn, is it like the fucking is it slavery over there? Like, I was like, is it really like that? These
I mean,
animators
it's
just
definitely because, like, historically speaking, like mangakas and fucking animators and all them other people, they have like consistent issues with being like overworked and like all types of other
absolutely.
bullshit. So I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if the shit that's going on over there is like all types of fucked up
Nah, I
slave
mean, for
labor
sure.
type shit.
If you read weekly manga in any form, like if you do it online, if you fucking pick up volumes, you will see all the time at the end of your chat, like at the end of a chapter, especially a big one, the end of an arc, things like that. You'll see in a fucking editor's note to be like, "Hey, look, the creator's gonna take some time off. We'll be back," or "Hey, it's Golden Week and we're taking that shit off." Like these,
Right.
like I remember when Bleach was finishing up, right? The Bleach manga. Tite Kubo. I'll say
Whatever.
Tite, excuse me. Tite Kubo. Excuse me. Tite
Yeah.
Kubo. Yeah, no, I just again I build phlegm very
Maybe you
easily.
need a little water.
Uh, no, I've been drinking lemonade. It makes me phlegmy. But I don't know if you know this. Like, yeah, but lemonade, it gets back there and it makes me real phlegmy. I,
Okay, I'm not
I
gonna
get
say
old.
that.
Mm, phlegm. But nah, Tite Kubo ended up having to take like a lot of time off during the Thousand Year Blood War arc. Like so much so that I feel like the work itself actually suffered because of like how much he was like how hard he was having to work to keep up with the Shonen Jump schedule, to keep up with like what he's promised. And what's cool about that and what's interesting there is like it's not like they're locked into like a music contract, right? Where they're like, "Hey, man, we need 4 mangas out of you for the end of the year, dog, or otherwise, you'll be breach of contract. We can't pay you." Usually, it's just like, "Hey, look, we got you for weekly," which is, I mean, I guess probably just as fucking stressful, like weekly fucking issues.
Hmm.
But like I feel like as I go people that were reading it at the time, like they had a bit of an issue with the way Type Kubo was like having to like push himself so goddamn hard because it seemed like everything was either rushed, all the character development was kind of thrown out the window, or
Hmm.
like consequences didn't fucking matter. And it was like, is this just niggas like we were worried that he
I
was
mean, it's
asleep
possible
at the
niggas
wheel.
was just losing interest in the manga at the time.
It's very true, but now we see like how well if you see how well the fucking Thousand Year Blood War arc is doing, like now that it's being animated, like anime wise. I mean, mind you, niggas been waiting for fucking umpteen over a decade of time for this shit, so it makes sense that people are like going out of their way to go watch it and stuff. But it's like, oh, like seeing it now, like we probably would have had just as much, I don't know, just as much hype for it with like
Hmm.
just look at how much hype we have right as time has gone on, right? As like we've given all this time, we've given like all we've taken all this time, right? And like we've allowed this suspense to build so much so that some people didn't even like anticipate the shit to come out at all. And so it kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It disproves like
Yeah.
this whole like we have to have this like bling 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 fucking schedule type situation because niggas, if it's good, then like we don't mind waiting.
Right. Well, I mean, keep in mind, Tite Kubo is like a legacy act in like this anime manga shit. And
Yeah,
Bleach is also a legacy fucking property in this anime manga shit.
super
So,
so. I mean, it's just back again, so it makes it more like I mean, it throws itself back into the conversation.
right. And I agree with like, yeah, it literally throws itself back into the conversation or whatever.
Mm.
And it's still new. Like we just got it towards like the midpoint of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I
And
was like, what, October, September?
something like that. I don't fucking know. I don't watch it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean, I
watch
read
it.
it, so like I read it. I'm waiting for it to kind of like build up a little bit more,
Right.
and then I'm
But
gonna go
even like
watch it.
looking at how Tite Kubo was kind of like drawing backgrounds and like leaving out
Oh
certain
yeah, the big
details and
skies
character
and shit.
designs. Right. It's just fucking blank space in a manga panel. It's like I don't know. I'm constantly worried that a lot of these like animator niggas, mangaka niggas, and all the rest of them, like they're getting kind of tired, and like I don't think we can keep up with the amount of consumption that people are trying to get to.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. One thing I'll say is this though, like as I'm kind of looking at it, I was thinking about it kind of there's this kind of period where a studio will kind of jump forward. And I mean, I guess I'm moving out of the mangaka talking more into like the animation studio where like one studio will be very prevalent. Like remember when Aniplex was just like Aniplex, you saw Aniplex on
Right.
everything.
Well, Aniplex
And
is like a distributor more
yeah,
so
that's what I was thinking.
like Bones, like with Full
Excuse me,
Metal
but Studio
Alchemist
Trigger.
and
Let me use
yeah,
Studio Trigger.
Trigger, yeah, them niggas.
Like, every the Studio Trigger was drawing everything. It was like, here's Promare, here's Gurren Lagann, here's fucking like goddamn Akame ga Kill. Like didn't I think Studio Trigger did fucking
I
the
don't know.
other the fucking fiber clothes fucking
Usually you can tell when a Studio Trigger, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
I
And
can't
like,
remember.
they were doing like Gurren Lagann and like the Gurren Lagann adjacent shit.
Yeah.
And it's a lot, but at the end of the day, a lot of these guys they like they try to like streamline the process by like outsourcing it out to Korea or like outsourcing it to like different people who have more lax like labor laws.
Got you. Yeah, because where you don't have the work day is not necessarily as long and as hard. But like what I guess what I'll speak to this is that do you in the manga that I mean I know that you don't necessarily consume a whole fucking lot all the time, but in the shit that you have consumed, like what do you think as far as like do you think that the work suffers over time? Like I
I
because
think
the
that
thing
any creative work is gonna suffer if you're constantly expected to fucking put out at such like a high volume. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I genuinely believe like most niggas cannot like compete with the desire for consumption that like the people fucking have. You know what I mean?
no, I mean I get it. Like this, the demand is greater than a lot of the times a creator can supply. With me though, I'm thinking like a lot of people will point to successful individuals that do it, right? Like Oda. Like Oda has been
Yeah, you got
dropping
Oda.
fucking
Yeah.
yeah, Oda's
I
been
think Oda
dropping.
has worked himself in a position where he can kind of like control his audience. You know what I'm saying? Like One Piece is just One Piece. It's one like it doesn't even get fucking measured in the same vein as like other mangas.
Yeah, no, there's a meme about the plots and the storylines, and like the whole situation is like very, very different as far as the way they kind of put fucking One Piece is that it's like a constantly expanding world building story. And I I've been lucky enough to be able to keep up with One Piece now. Like it took
Mhm.
a couple of years to actually get like, hey, let's catch up. And so once I did so, I was like, okay, I'm caught up with the manga. I can officially say, okay, I'm a One Piece nigga. Like I can get in there. I crossed that off the list for sure. But
Right.
I was looking at it and I'm like, damn, like in comparison, like between like Bleach, where the people say that's a lot more linear, like pattern based
Yeah,
formula.
it's a
Hey,
very
look,
linear. Like I wouldn't say it's like I don't know. I think it really depends on what the mangaka like focuses on. Like there's certain mangaka that focus more so on like the art, and then there's other mangaka that focus on like the overarching story. And then like
yeah,
you got niggas like Araki who like they kind of have the whole shit kind of planned out beforehand, and they throw like little bits and pieces in there, and
yeah,
then like they have an end in mind. And I think with Tite Kubo it was like, I don't see how I can end this fucking manga,
yeah.
and Araki,
I mean, even Kishimoto had that like issue. It was like, oh shit, how do I kill Madara? Like, how do
right.
we deal with Madara? And
Well, let's
then
just
it's
do
like,
it quickly and then bring Kaguya out because he
let's
literally tried to. He
space
did a
ninja.
round robin on 3 villains, and like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's not Obito, by the way, guys. No, it's fucking Madara. It's not
No, it's
Madara.
not
It's
Madara. It's
Kaguya.
Kaguya. No, it's not Kaguya. It's Sasuke. The whole
Fucking
time it was Sasuke.
yeah, well, Sasuke's always they were, that was
Right.
gonna happen. I
But
think
even
Kishimoto
me, like
knew
I'm of the belief that we didn't even need to fucking have that last Sasuke versus Naruto fight because it was just like, all right, we get it. Like they were at that point, and we just
personally, if they didn't have it, I would have felt blue balled. That's the thing.
I wouldn't
That
have felt blue balled, nigga. We just beat the fuck. We beat God, nigga. What the fuck?
we've had three we've had three matches, right? Or three encounters where these motherfuckers have gotten into it. Like,
Right.
we've way back at the Valley of the End, and even more. Well, let's say in training when they were little, because
Mhm.
they have that whole flashback, fucking at the end. So you have to count that in training when they were little, and then Valley of the End, and then when fucking Sasuke went blind, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh
Okay.
shit,
All right. So what you're saying is like Water Tower, Valley in the end, and then
that's
fucking the end of
and
the
then
shit.
you have to have that. So it's a situation of like we have to have the ending conflict because we just fucking finished off the greatest,
Right. But I
the
genuinely
biggest
feel
event.
like, and maybe it's because I
Because
focus
the
more
thing is,
so.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Because
no, no, you good, you good. I think maybe it's because I focus more so on the narrative aspect of the story, where
yeah,
it's just like, hey, you wanna get refocused real quick? You wanna
I,
put your
I'm
hand
really
in front of
trying to, dog. I'm
I,
trying to
I,
get
I know, I
refocused.
know, I know,
I
I
like
know.
I
Put your hand in front of the fucking thing, bro. Anyway,
yeah.
like you got like from a narrative standpoint, Naruto versus Sasuke kind of got played out because they already worked together. So why would he renege on all the shit that he just did to fight Naruto if he
I'll put
was
it.
just trying to shoehorn in something that's literally fan service?
I'll put it to you like this. And oh fuck yeah, here we
Yeah,
are.
that's all
There's
it
the
took.
real. I'll put it
Anyway,
to you like this because so the ending of the and let's not get too fucking in the weeds,
yeah, I don't
but
want to get too in the weeds.
Hashirama versus Madara, right?
Yeah,
Okay. The big thing there is that at the end, the way that they tried to resolve that conflict was like, hey, like Madara gets defeated, and he's like, look, I'm not going to tell my people to work with your people because I feel like you're gonna fuck us over. So the only thing that's gonna tell me that you've got the fucking conviction to do this, to have this, to like to really like put that shit aside, is to murder your brother, kill that nigga right now.
mhm,
And Hashirama was like, no, I don't want to do that. I'll kill myself and we can go from there. And Madara was like, all right. And so he's like, cool, I'll take it. And then when Hashirama shows he'll actual fucking off himself, right? It's like, okay, cool. I believe in your conviction, right? And there's a bunch of reasons why, like, technically, if Hashirama would have killed Tobirama, it probably would have went way better for the whole situation. But either way,
that's the story of
that's
Naruto.
that's a story. I mean, that's a different
That's
situation. But what I'm
that's
saying,
literally Naruto in general. It's like, yeah, I could have killed the nigga that was gonna be the source of the problems, but
yeah,
I have conviction. Yeah,
exactly. So, but so what I'm saying is this: is that we had this whole fight between two of the individuals that was the strongest of the time frame, right? They tried to come to a compromise, and then through deception and issue, like that compromise fell through, right? So, in order to not repeat the issues of the past, right, we had that
which
whole
everybody, by the way, is not concerned with. But go ahead.
but the thing is that some of them are because now we have two individuals who are arguably stronger than everybody else with very conflicting ideals, and the only reason they work together is because literally Sasuke
Right,
was like, "I don't think
but
that a
that
world of
but
like
I feel like that's like
pod people is good."
that's why they did that Kaguya fucking
I mean, no,
Ashura Indra shit.
Kage is fucking shoehorned as
Right.
fuck.
I won't say that necessarily, but like, yeah, it's shoehorned. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no,
But
Kage
more
is
importantly,
shoehorned.
like the
But like,
Ashura Indra shit, just like this is the cycle. This is the deadly cycle between the two reincarnations of Ashura and Indra, and
yeah,
they're always gonna do
but
shit like that.
the thing about it is that it wasn't like Naruto's difference, right? Is that he was supposed to show that you can show full and real strength and show your conviction and convince someone truly that hey, we can do this a different
It
way.
sounds like you trying to call Sasuke pussy.
No, I'm trying to say that Sasuke was out. Sasuke was outright trying to kill my nigga, right? And Naruto met his force, right? And like Superman, like every other individual with like great fucking power ability, Goku, every like a great deal of shonen protagonists except for Ichigo, because that nigga will body you. He just will.
Right.
Uh, but she showed that he was like, okay, we can meet with the same force. I can show you that I'm here and convicted, and we can really do this. And they ended up coming out of the tie. And I think that them laying together, like laying there
It's
on the
not really a
ground,
tie if
blood
one
mixed.
nigga's holding back, but
I mean, again, one nigga holding back could be their ultimate issue. That like you holding back doesn't necessarily make the fight like less fair because
no,
you still
I
have to
guess you're
defend
right.
yourself.
I guess at
Is
the end of the day, if
if
you
Tai Chi, if any of the defensive martial arts have anything to say, is that like just because I didn't fucking drop you doesn't mean I didn't fucking lose. Like doesn't
right,
mean I
right.
lost.
Didn't mean I didn't meet your force. Right.
Yeah.
And like I feel you. I really do. I
Not to
really
get
do.
like a little
Yeah, I
Naruto
know. That
shit.
was like a mini in the weeds conversation, but like my point still stands, right? It's like
No, I get
from
it.
a narrative standpoint, it's kind of shoehorned in, and none of these guys really have the intention of ending their story.
Yeah, and so it's a situation, but with Kishimoto, I feel like that was his attempt at trying to end it, but it's wild that it would drag more. But it just doesn't seem like it doesn't. I would feel like the story as a whole, if we left off with either a
Right, but
Sasuke
but
died or just
that's my point about the consumption bit, right? Because
yeah,
this is like, okay, you looking at this story, like, okay, we beat Kaguya, right? We essentially fixed the problem,
yeah.
right? But because like the audience has this expectation of different fucking like
Because
events,
we need to know what the
right?
fuck is going on
And,
between.
and it's such a base level fucking desire. Like, well, okay, cool, we fixed the problem, but I need to know who's gonna be like who's
Well,
stronger, Naruto or Sasuke. It's
it's not
like,
even the who's stronger. It's just like whose ideals is going to win out because Sasuke has already revealed that he's like, I will do this whole village thing fucking differently. I'm going to be Batman. I'm going to be the fucking fear that people have. I'm going to be that was Sasuke. Sasuke
yeah,
was
the
literally,
Shadow
I'm going to
Hokage
go
is what they call
Batman.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Shadow
gonna be
Hokage.
that guy. And
Yeah.
and I feel it, but it's
Like,
also just like,
I'm sorry. The
why
reason
are you not serving your narrative? Instead, you're
yeah.
serving
Kishimoto, you had an opportunity to get us. You had an opportunity to just go ahead and give us your narrative right here, right there, and it could have been resolved. The things that they surmounted dealing with this story that you put all the conflicts that you put in front of them, they've surmounted. They've gotten all the information. There's no more like
right,
extra
there's
hindsight that
essentially
they
no
need.
more, right?
And so you can just let it go. But because you have a villain that you don't know how to kill without anybody feeling like, that was
That
like
was kind of
plot armor,
an ass
like,
pull.
which is wild because you still ass pool. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel
but
like any of these,
maybe that is an example, right,
right?
of like somebody's schedule or somebody's like thought process of expectation. Because I feel like this is gonna come up to bite Mappa in the ass because they've got so much stuff going on. Like Vinland Saga season 2, for me, is like I'm very excited for it because when I started reading Vinland Saga the manga, like well, excuse me, I watched Vinland Saga the show, and then I was like, where the fuck does it pick up in the manga? And I read the fuck out of it. And I was like, ooh, this transformation, this arc of Vinland Saga is so incredible that like I'm like, how the fuck do y'all plan on putting enough like thought process and time into this as the same like as the same as any of these other like because it's a lot to go through because
Yeah.
one
How do
pre
you put the same energy into
yeah
into the actual animation?
because
Because like,
I'll say that the last few bits of fucking Attack on Titan have been like up and down like
you know me, I don't give a fuck about Attack on
I
Titan.
will.
So
I'll say that like they've the switching of stylings for the Titans because like remember how like I don't know you've seen clips and shit so you remember
up to season 2. Yeah.
how stylized the Titans were at one
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, after a bit they were just like let's go with that Netflix 3D animation for the Titans so that we can save cash like so that we can
Yeah,
save
I
money
mean,
and
but
save time
animation
usually
costs
save
fucking
time.
money. You
Yeah,
have
no,
to
I get it.
pay animators. You feel me?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm saying when you're when you got a team that's spread so fucking thin, obviously you're going to try to cut corners where you can, and I
Right.
feel like it's the
But
case.
at the end of the day, when you have like an audience expectation, right? And I think that's what separates like a lot of these like indie animators, and I don't know if we're still using that word, but I like the word. But I think that's what separates like a lot of these indie animators because these indie animators they don't have expectations that they have to like meet, so they can
True,
kind of just do what they
they can
want.
just
Like
go.
that
But like,
fucking
if you look at like the creator of Bleach, I'm not Bleach, Berserk, right?
Kintaro,
R.I.P.
Kintaro Miura.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, I just didn't want to say his last name. I didn't want to fuck up his last name because the
Okay.
Miura portion was gonna. I was like, it's gonna fuck. I know Kintaro, but like the Miura portion was like, But either way, like if you look at that, like an individual like that, like where he would might drop a chat, like where we had like huge hiatuses.
Yeah.
Like I think it was on a boat for like fucking.
But
Ever.
I put him and Oda in the same category because him and Oda they
It's
both
such a
have
whirlwind.
2 legacy manga and fucking Tagashi because they all have like legacy manga and they all have well, I don't know about Oda, but
Okay.
they have documented health problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I've never. I'll get you there because Kintaro, rest in peace. He passed from his
Yeah.
and the tight and Tite again another situation where people are like, yeah, he's like I think clinically
Do we
exhausted.
really expect him to crash out is my thing,
Yeah,
right?
and we don't want to work the nigga to death, right?
Right.
But we also don't want like a George R.R. Martin where it's like it's like 8 years between projects and shit.
That's the nigga that did Game
But
of
that's the
Thrones.
difference. Yeah, exactly. I
Right.
think that's the difference between being like an author in some cases and
Right. Well,
like
at the
a
end of the day, because like
weekly
and this is
artist.
like such an unrealistic expectation of a creative to simultaneously draw and craft the story that you're like watching, right? Or at least
True.
like drive the art direction of the story that you're consuming. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and your Tagashi point was really good because that's another nigga that can take like a very long hiatus, and
Yeah.
he just recently started, fucking writing again. So, and I'm very excited for this Dark Continent arc. I'm happy to be through all the fucking politics. It took a while to get through all this goddamn. Well, yeah, good news. Leoro's the leader. We could have
Yeah,
fucking did
right,
that
right,
in the
right, right,
episode.
right, right.
Like,
And we finally started to pivot back to Gon being the fucking main character and shit. But I mean, I don't know. I don't read Hunter x Hunter for real.
it's less so because he's like he said that Gon's not the protagonist anymore, and it's like okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and
Like, we want to see where the fucking Kurapika storyline goes, and the whole fucking God, what kind of beast? There's some kind of nin beast. They're like nin
yeah.
beast and the fucking boat. It's
Yeah,
some
yeah,
shit.
yeah, no, no,
It's some shit.
it's an expansive story, and like it
Yeah,
can
and
go
it's
in
gonna
all
take
types
a
of
bit.
different directions. But that's the issue when you create an anime behind it, and that's why I'm just like, there used to be not used to be, but there's kind of a separation between the manga, and the anime, right?
Yeah,
Whereas the manga is like this like intimate story that the mangaka kind of has with the work,
yeah.
and
You
the
got a
anime
weekly
is like
audience that you're keeping up with, like, and that you're actually like you get an opportunity to connect with on a different level
yeah,
because what you miss out with on the anime side is like the editor's notes and the little things that kind of like add in there. You don't always miss out on because
yeah,
like
the
if you
characterization of like the anime or what, because like once it
exactly
becomes an anime, you're kind of like trying to push it. You're trying to push it to become like this grander thing than what the manga was possibly trying to be. You know what I mean?
absolutely, and from where you as a creator like went through and you've crafted like a panel, right? You've crafted a panel, and each time you go through, you're telling a story via these still images. And then like your anime studio is going to take your source material and they're going to fucking animate in between the
And
lines.
not only do they have to animate it, they have to expound on it too.
Exactly. Like we have to take what is all of like the Luffy versus Katakuri fight in fucking One Piece. That motherfucking that whole thing. I know you probably didn't watch it, but
I
like
don't give a
it
fuck
was
about
like
One Piece.
fucking it was like 4 or 5 episodes. It was a long ass time, but it didn't actually take that long manga wise. Like we were pretty much in, and we were hype about it. It was taking a few, like a
Right.
couple of chapters, but like for what they had to expound upon to try to equal the epicness that we felt in the manga, to do it justice, they extended it out like 5 episodes, which is a
Yeah,
lot
but
of work.
I mean that's kind of and that's the odd thing about Japanese media,
Mhm.
especially like anime manga. Like it's all crossover media and they cross over between each other. And we've talked about like how like American comics have an opportunity to be like their own individual stories, but anime doesn't really have that. They call that shit filler.
Yeah,
And the way
right.
we look at filler is like, oh, that shit sucks. We don't fuck with
Right.
filler.
We're never gonna be like we're never looking at the Starro shit or the Bizarro
Right.
shit with
And
Superman and going like, oh, this is filler, right? Like none of
right.
that filler. It's just all fucking Superman
It's all
story.
the thing. And maybe it's because there's no continuous narrative in
Yeah.
American comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like it's like the thing is that all superheroes, the only goal is to keep the peace. Like
Right.
or
Or
not
at
all.
least to in
Yeah,
on a more meta level, like the goal is to um
extend the story is just continue
not
to
just
give
extend, like reinforce the character.
Yeah, give this piece, put more obstacles and things like that in the way to continue to build the idea, or like not just the deal, but
The icon, right?
the icon. Like, yeah, make this character iconic. The reason that Spider-Man has a billion different stories is so that we know the center focus, great
Yeah.
power, responsibility. Like if you're looking at like fucking movie Spider-Man, the
Right.
fucking through line is with great power comes great responsibility, and you just have to continue to put him through that. And like you look at Daredevil, the man without fear. You have to
You
continuously
have to
push them.
continually
Yeah,
reinforce that idea, like he's the man without fear. He's the nigga that does
yeah.
this shit. And we have to
Or
resolve that in so many, and so the movies have to reinforce that, the comics have to reinforce that, the TV shows have to reinforce that.
at least that for a time, and then like you pass it off to different writers. You pass it off. You pass it off to different writers, and you let those individuals kind of like tell their own story within a space.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Whereas with manga, anime manga especially, you
yeah,
can't necessarily pass that off to a different character because they're not going to run with your character. They have to run with your story.
yeah, which is weird because like you have manga like, or you have like series like Fate, like right, like Fate. there's a billion of the Fates, or like Gundam, right? That's another thing where like you
Gundam
have
can get away with it because they're
that's
not
what I'm
working with
saying.
the same
Gundam
characters every.
exactly.
Right,
Like
we're working
every
with the
time it's
idea
like
of Gundam.
yeah, what the Gundam stands for. Gundam stands
Right,
for freedom. They're gonna be it's time for rebellion, and
right.
it's like just
I
the
think
story
that
centered
like
around that.
legacy animes like not Astro Boy, like Devilman.
Devilman, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Like
Yeah.
Devilman and fucking it's really just
I
Devilman and
mean,
like
can you
Golden
like
Guy
yeah,
stories.
hold on. No, Cyborg 009 because like
Yeah,
that has like a lot of crossover stuff. Like they have like a Cyborg 009 fucking Devilman crossover movie.
yeah. Well, they
Yeah.
do, but they come from the same era.
It's like
And
that's like God that's like
I don't know if you know
kaiju stuff.
I've been real obsessed with Devilman, but that's just because
Devilman
you
comes and
grow up
goes with me,
Christian and
dog.
you kind of
Yeah,
like
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. You grow up Christian, you have a very interesting experience with like religion and manga and anime. Like if you just back to back fucking like Ninja Scroll then Evangelion, like you pretty much
All the
start going,
crazy fuck shit that
yeah,
happens.
you start and then you like end up dabbling in
Ninja Scroll
paranoia.
2, by the way, like Ninja Scroll 2, like you can put that in the same category where it's just like we can kind of take liberties with the story.
We have a through line of characters and we can kind of play with them as long as these themes are
Yeah.
generally present, we're good to go.
Right.
Like
As long as we hit that. But I think that there's certain like
which
narrative.
I think with the Eastern media, like with Japan, like anime and stuff like that, you get that with age groups, right? Like with like it's shonen. So here's how the like
But
general
you know,
thought
you gotta
process is
remember,
shown.
and I'm not trying to talk shit about like the
Oh, you're good.
growth of like anime as a whole, but like you know, you got anime that gets like more popular, and like what
Mhm.
most people are buying into is the narrative. Most people are buying into the story, and like if it doesn't kind of follow that direction, a lot of people kind of jump off of it because you have to interact with it on a very two-dimensional level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm
You
making
take
sense.
some time. No, I get you. You have to take some time, sit down, and just read. Like you're reading,
Well, no,
and
no.
a lot of the
Well, yeah, like
experience is
you got
faster.
to read, but
Right?
like, all right, like let's take Pokemon for instance, right?
Okay. Oh
I guess
yeah, another
fuck the
situation where we
docket, I
could like
guess. But like,
oh no, I mean like we're getting there. Like we're
what's
getting
that?
there. I just this is again something that I was like, this is interesting. I'm willing to have that because with everything, with how much speed and time that it would excuse me,
Yeah,
which how much is expected of a lot of these studios, which how
yeah,
much is expected of a lot of these creators, right?
right.
There's so many different levels that or layers really when it
With
comes
what's
to like
going
a
on,
process.
right?
Exactly.
Okay, so like take Pokemon for instance, right?
Yeah.
Pokemon the TV show, Pokemon the brand as a whole, and Pokemon the manga are three totally different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And the
Like
canons are
Pokemon the
completely
manga is at times very gruesome, very
dark.
yeah, very,
Like
very fucking
very
dark.
dark. And the anime will borrow from those themes from time to time.
Yeah,
Like, but
but
if
for the
you
most
read
part,
like
the anime is its own
yeah, if you
separate
read the
entity.
fucking data entry for Charmander, like it's like, oh shit, if that tail fire goes out, it's dead.
It's dead,
That-
right?
Like
And
it's
like
like it
you
ain't a
might see that
gecko.
in there, but
Like
you're not gonna see Charmander die. Whereas in the
exactly.
manga,
You
like
might see a Charmander die.
you might see fucking Charmander die. And like, you know, in the brand itself, like, you know, Pokemon the brand, you're not gonna see that.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
You get squiggly eyes, nigga. Like it's
Right.
knocked
You get a
out.
couple squiggly
Rush it
eyes, we
to
get you to the Pokemon Center and you're good.
good to go. Full
Right.
revive.
And
Full
I
heal.
think that like a lot of Eastern media just doesn't have that opportunity. Like some Eastern media properties have that opportunity, but a lot
Absolutely.
of them don't
Well,
have that.
a lot of the stuff that we are like a lot of stuff that I feel like we're participating in as far as because again, uh, fucking most of the AAA anime is over there at studio fucking Mappa right now, and
Yeah.
so it's like you've got one studio kind of handling this and a lot
Yeah.
of hands in this pot, whereas like this one studio handling it, that's awesome, but like they don't have as much time. Whereas the source material, what this creator spent all this time kind of crafting, they're kind of crafting their audience, building these relationships and shit like that, can be thrown off by a bad anime. I mean, like,
Yeah.
or at least like if it's
And
trying to,
I think that's what it is. Like once the manga like gets greenlit for an anime, it's like, okay, we can't take any more risks.
Right
We
now,
gotta,
we need to, and that's what's so wild about it. I feel like with Tycoon, because like you have a studio that's like, yo, we need more source material, right? Like people are itching at the like they're chomping at the bit. We need more. We need to be able to animate more. Oh, you don't have anything? Well, cool. Well, we're just gonna make some stories. Like we know the general
yeah,
thought process,
and that's
general
how
thing,
filler happens.
and that's how filler happens. So it's like we've gotten away a lot because I haven't seen a lot of anime
But the
lately.
problem is filler gets that fucking
Yeah, I mean,
that rap.
it gets the rap, like, and I think that's because of things like, which is wild because some of my favorite filler, like Dragon Ball Z, has some of my
Yeah,
favorite
I love
rap.
Dragon Ball filler.
Like,
I like Naruto filler. I
yeah,
like a lot of fucking,
I
but
mean,
at the end of the day, like the consumer themselves doesn't want to deal with that as a whole. You feel me?
yeah,
Like the
they
average
want the
consumer
story.
doesn't
Like,
want
I
to
want the
deal with that.
story. I want to get to it, and like
Yeah,
anything that's kind of off that linear path or off that
right.
storyline
Like
path.
even Demon Slayer, right? As short as it is, I think Demon Slayer could benefit from filler.
Benefit from some filler because it's so short. I understand what you're talking about. Like some more Tundra. I get, well, not. I understand what you're talking about because there's this sense of like wanting more because it's over now. It's done. And
Yeah.
like like there's speculation that there could be spin-off series or
Right.
like
Well, there
maybe
are
a
spin-offs and all that other shit,
light
but it doesn't
novels
get
and stuff.
animated.
Yeah. Which mind you, just as some cool ass news, shout out to fucking Kishimoto. The light novels, a lot of the Naruto light novels are being greenlit for animes. Like
Mm.
they're starting to.
Well,
So
that's what's happening right now. Like Kishimoto just got greenlit for, well, not greenlit. Kishimoto just kind of announced that he's gonna like helm a manga based solely off of like audience participation. But I'm kind of like, I don't really want that.
yeah, that sounds like a little pandery. I like
Well,
that.
no,
Well,
it's
not
not I
pandery, but
wouldn't
that
say it's
sounds like
pandery, but it's just like audiences don't really. Maybe they do, but audiences to me don't really know what they want until they have it.
but what's wild? Okay, I'll see that. I'll see you that and raise you Batman Death in the Family. Like that's I'll see
We
you that
got once again, the American comics are different
very
because
different.
we can pick and choose what is and isn't like canon. I guess is the word. I don't know if that's the
Very
word.
true, but I'm saying with the Death in the Family, right? You've got a Robin that people aren't well, that the company is deeming that they're not receiving well, right?
Mhm.
So Robin is like, we don't necessarily know how we're feeling about that. So let's
He
put it
said
to the
death in
audience.
the family, not death of the family.
No, Death in the Family. Sorry,
Ah, okay,
like
cool, cool.
the OG
Continue.
event where they were like, we
All
don't.
right, call this number, and we're gonna decide if we're gonna kill Robin or not.
Or mail, yeah, call this number, mail some shit in. If this is the way y'all want it, then he'll die. If not, then cool.
Yeah, the choose your own adventure, the choose your own adventure style of fucking
Exactly.
what the
Of
young people call content.
yeah, and content creation or whatever. But so Kishimoto doing something like that is interesting. But for me now, with the level of access that we have, like, I mean, I guess it would be awesome, but like the level of access that we have, the like not the reception, but what's the word I'm looking for? The level of feedback or
Yeah,
interaction that you're going to
the
get is
audience
going to,
interaction.
yeah, the audience interaction is I feel like projected to be very large. It's gonna be huge,
Yeah, no,
right?
I mean it's different because we live in a different time where like the shit
Yeah,
that
I
we
mean, I'm not
consume.
fucking calling a number. I can fucking tweet at
No, no,
Kishimoto,
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like
make some Sakuma shit.
the shit that we consume, we expect to have a hand in.
I see. We expect our opinions to really matter and fucking like grip like have an effect on the storyline and the people because it's being created in the real time and we can contact and be
Right.
a part of this in real time. And so it's like
And for
giving it,
a lot of these guys, they're not creating things prior to, right? They have the idea, they put the concept out, they start writing the manga, and they kind of just like gauge audience perspective. Like
yeah,
not
I
even
mean,
just manga, but like
or I mean, mind you, because you've actually been putting out some really hot like content as far as like the socials are going.
mhm,
With one thing that I thought like how one thing I thought was really dope, like the thread that you did on fucking artists or mangaka's previous works,
yeah.
right? I think that's really dope because a lot of the times if you look at like take the mangaka for Fairy Tale, right? He
Mhm.
did fucking Rave Master,
He did
and
do Rave Master.
yeah, he did Rave Master. You look at that, and a lot of the character designs, a lot of
Yeah, they overlap.
they overlap. Like Heartfilia is a company that makes clothing in Rave Master and also in fucking Fairy Tale. And then I
Right.
think as well as the new manga that he did that's now an anime. Eden Zero, which I like. After I finished Fairy Tale, I was right at the end of Fairy Tale. He announced that he was doing Eden Zero, and I was like, oh shit. Well, I'm reading Fairy Tale right now, and I know this is coming to an end. Let me go read it. And I read it for a bit. It took me a bit to get into it. I bet money that it's better like now that it's gotten even more time to kind of build. But
Yeah.
the initial world building can kind of be slow for me sometimes. So I'll put a manga down for a while.
But I mean, once again, and that loops back to your audience, like your expectation of that person.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And
Like,
ultimately, I'm just like at this point in time, like creatives, like artists, writers, et cetera, in today's like content economy, we are fighting like audience expectation daily, and you
yeah.
cannot expect one person or even like a team to keep up with audience expectation. So, and I know this is a
Yeah.
shitty segue. This is a shitty
No,
segue.
but wait. Before you do that, because I get it, because the objective, right, is to try to tell the story. That's the objective.
I don't think that's the objective anymore, bro.
Well, hold on. I'm sorry. Like,
That's what the audience wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
guess that makes it an objective then.
I'm saying the objective when you go to the undertaking of like, hey, we're gonna animate this manga, we're gonna turn into an anime. Like the objective is to tell the story of the anime, like the manga, but also to like fill in the story, like to tell a story, right? But like when it comes to a situation like Attack on Titan, like they're telling the story, they're doing as much as they can with the time frame. But even my brain was like, the Titan designs, man, the Titan designs have changed. They're fucking shitty. But the thing is that I'm still watching it. I'm still gripped because I'm invested in the through line of the story. Like, and I think that the audience expectation, I think, should be that, hey, you might have gripes, but you should be here for the story.
Yes, but I think that our tolerance for dealing with gripes is much lower.
Absolutely, because the fact of the matter is that dealing with gripes becomes like your tolerance goes down because you're dealing with more and more and more and more of it. The gripes once upon a time where like if you didn't like fucking Dragon Ball back in the fucking 80s, like you had to write a letter.
Yeah,
you had to fucking write
there was more interface between you and like by the time the letter got there, it's like, oh, you really cared.
Yeah, and on top of that, there's probably been like 2 to 3 fucking chapters since before they've actually got a chance to read it. Whereas now an episode drops, right? They're
I can
trying
get
to
on Twitter and tell you like I didn't.
Yeah, they're trying to animate the next week's episode, and somebody's like, "Hey, there's a million tweets, and it's all like, hey, we hated that."
Well, you got to remember the production schedule for a lot of these animes and like a lot of TV shows isn't South Park. A lot of them are already put out and created, and then they gradually put them out.
Yeah.
But now it's like a lot of people don't think about the process that goes into it, and more so just like, wow, I experienced a story. I have a very two-dimensional experience with this. What the fuck? What the fuck just happened?
What the fuck is this? What the fuck happened? Tell me what's going on. You dropped the ball. You dropped the ball.
Yeah, you're telling me I dropped the ball before you got the full, before you got the full
it's like
picture.
I've already got the next chapter out here that solves and answers your question. Or like you're going to be excited, which is why I feel like Oda, because like Oda kind of like gives this I don't give a fuck attitude.
Once again, he's a legacy.
That's what I'm saying. A legacy. He's put like that's the thing. He's gotten to the point where he doesn't get. I feel like that's like the case of like Dave Chappelle, or like a Dave Chappelle. He's like, I'm a legacy act. I'm here. I've been through.
But
it.
once again, he's experiencing things that I'm like, yeah, I don't know if he's gonna make it in the next 15, not 15, in the next like 6 years.
He is consistently bucking the system.
He's consistently anyway. This isn't about comedy.
And not at all. This is just another medium. I hate to continue.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is like, hey, look, as audiences become more involved, in how things come out and how successful things are going to change. Right?
Certainly, and
so
in that change, like, go ahead.
Yeah, things like stand-up comedy. Like you kind of have to make money and to incentivize you to continue to create this medium, you have to kind of adhere to some of these like criticisms, right?
Yeah, like you do have to deal with some of the gripes. Like when it comes down to it, like you're crafting this, like you're doing it in real time. This is a criticism that you're going to have to deal with and address.
Right.
Like otherwise, you're not going to get better.
Yeah, and even bigger than like getting better, you're not going to get bigger. Because like you can be the best. I think you can get really good under scrutiny, but if people aren't interested in seeing you because they have this perception of you, it's
if you've never taken the scrutiny into account, right?
Yeah.
Which would not change any of the opinions about you or about the content that you're making. Like it's not going to be viewed, I guess, which is
It's not
wild
gonna
because
be consumed
Kanye is
because
gonna.
people are gonna be like, I don't fuck with you. I have an idea of you already.
No, I get it, but Kanye is gonna continue to put out albums,
But
and like
Kanye's a legacy act,
I know.
right? And
I
the
just
problem is
feel
like niggas can't do what Kanye, Dave Chappelle, Tite Kubo, Oda, all these other
Oda,
niggas did
Kentaro
because
Miura.
yeah, because they already put their time in, right? We already have
Yeah.
set a precedent for how I do shit.
It's true. So when niggas like Gay Akitame come in and just continue to knock it out the fucking park
Right.
and continue to kill it, or niggas that like that fuck me for not remembering the fucking mangaka for Demon Slayer, but another
Yeah, I don't
situation.
remember her name.
Yeah, their name,
So
her name. Yeah, like knocking it out of the park. Another situation of like that. Like you have to. I feel like Demon Slayer. The route they went. Oh, here's short and sweet. Right here you go. Like, and then as far as the anime goes, we put out top quality. It doesn't matter how long it takes.
right.
This is good. It's gonna
Well,
be top quality.
once again, and this is my point. Like a lot of people don't show up with the full picture in mind. And once again, to the segue, that's kind of shitty, but I
Yeah.
want the thumbnail.
No.
It's like with a lot of these people, like if you're gonna create these tailored experiences that are ongoing, right? You might as well utilize every shortcut that you can fucking make.
It's true.
You know what I
I get
mean?
it. Like, so you don't make one animator who's like a prime animator
Right.
like draw every goddamn thing. You hire an in betweener to come in and be like, all right, cool.
Right. Or
Like,
even you don't even hire in betweener. You know, you might want to utilize the AI. You might want to use artificial
oh,
intelligence to try to
I see what
fucking
the fuck you mean. I see what the fuck you
shitty
mean.
segue.
That nigga's good. That nigga's potting.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
Right.
I see what you mean. Like, the AI shit, it's really polarizing. I mean, I feel like it's kind of always been like George Orwell and 84 have been talking about that shit for like ever. Fucking iRobot. Like the AI is coming and gonna take over the goddamn world. Deep Blue is gonna figure out how to stop playing chess and it's
True.
gonna start fucking deciding what the fuck we do with our
Well,
country.
but back to your point earlier, I do think that those artificial intelligences are gonna become the primary in betweeners for
Mm.
like these larger properties or even just like story generation in general.
So
You know
is
what I
that
mean?
why Lindsley's out here trying to get my face? They're just trying to get better at drawing
Linza?
niggas. Lindsley. Lindsley.
Linza.
That's the Lin. Is it Linza?
It's
Oh, Lin.
Linza.
Oh, excuse me. Lens is out here trying to get my face for the
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think that's why they want your face. I think they want your face for something else entirely. But more importantly, like because artificial intelligence is on the way. It's gonna stick around for a while.
yeah.
The
I mean,
best thing to do as a creative is to figure out how you're gonna make it work for you.
yeah. How do we utilize the tools? I mean, the thing is that the pop music, like I'll relate it to music, right? Like pop music has a sound, right? And
Mhm.
it changes every some odd decade as tools change, as things change. Like when Britney was around, we were shrink wrapping the shit out of people's voices, and this was the kind of the thought process and tone and sound. And then like as the Migos came through, and it was just like, all right, cool, everything is trap drums. This is the formula. This is how we do it, and we figure out how to make it work for us instead of continuously fighting against like what seems to be the new wave. So
Right.
like what you said is like I could see how AI becoming that thing, but I see so many creators, so many artists online raging against the AI, well, literally raging against the machine, because AI is seemingly getting ready to replace so many people's like jobs. But at the same time, it's like the people that I see complaining, I was like, well, you do like authentic work, but it's like, but I also do commissions, and that's how I
Right.
pay my fucking bills.
But to
And
me,
if
oh, okay, my bad. I ain't trying to step on.
Oh no, it's like, and that's how I pay my fucking bills. And if you can just, if for the work that I do, if you can just go to a website, type in the same like general like 3-4 words concept that you were going to send me, and have a fucking computer generate it for you, then suddenly I'm out of a fucking steady pace of income, and that's not good, Or
Well,
like, oh,
the way I look at it is like for these commissioners and shit like that, the guys who were really gonna double down on this shit, they were always gonna hire you, and like they're not gonna let an AI kind of kick you off of that situation.
You're saying that
But
the position was yours in the first place. I
yeah,
don't know, that seems really manifesty, but I mean, I get what you mean. It's like, hey, look, like as a situation, I don't think a company is going to start trying to value an AI over like a true human eye. It just might not be as many. Like, as
yeah,
you might, because the thing is that with like, and I hate to use this because it might be obtuse, but like you look at like factories, right? Automation
mhm,
in factories, the industrial revolution and shit. Like once upon a time, like in auto assemblies in Detroit and shit like that, you had like actual people like going through and like fabricating these objects and things like that using these machines. And then slowly but surely, as we got more and more automation, like less and less people were needed, and suddenly you have like people semi supervising machines. And I'm like,
right. But the machines have like a end goal in mind. And I think that like when you have an artistic vision that you can impose on the end goal, you make the
yeah,
end goal even better. You know what I'm saying?
it's
Like
true.
you've seen how your AI came out. A lot of them motherfuckers is cross-eyed and like the background's all sometimes
Cross-eyed,
all
my
fucked
hands are
up.
fucking crazy. And the thing
Right.
is that if I had asked a human to do that and they presented that same work, you would think that they were drunk, like, or they did it
Yeah.
on acid. Yeah, but
Or at
at the
least
same
they
time,
they didn't care about your vision. And at the
exactly.
end of the day, I think people need to think about that. Like the AI does not care about your vision. And at the end of the
Right.
day, you're paying for somebody to interpret your vision. The AI cannot interpret your vision.
I see what you that's a super valid point because it's like, look, there's something to be said about intention, right? There's something
Hmm.
to be said about how things going. And when you can just because the same with like and like I continue to relate it back to music, like as more tools become available, like when as more and more people are able to chop up samples, like you're going to
Yeah.
get more and
Well,
more.
I'm glad you brought up music uh production right there.
Yeah,
Because it's just like so like FL Studio, Fruity Loops or whatever, has always had this program called the riff machine, right? Where you can like put your drums out and you can select a key and it will auto generate a melody for you, right?
yeah.
And so you get the auto-generated melody, and you can roll the dice over and over and over again to generate a new melody. But once you get that melody, you can tweak that melody however you go. So like what I feel like the AI shit kind of gives you is an
Hmm.
opportunity to see a new direction that you can go.
I see what you mean. I was looking at so Justin Roiland, fucking of Rick and Morty fame, of Solar Opposite fame, they dropped a game called High on Life. And
Mhm.
people are enjoying it because the fan base just kind of automatically transfers over, especially when
Right.
the Nick
It's
voices
all
are
the
involved.
same fucking
Like
jokes.
exactly. Same jokes, same voices, but it's now done in a video game and it's talking weapons and it's a cool gimmick. But he mentioned that he had actually that when they were creating the game, they used AI generated images as concept art. Like they would go in and they would type in like, a couple of words here, a couple of vague words here or there to try to
Mhm.
get their brains going or come up with an idea for different like characters or maybe
Right.
even a couple of guns. And there was a huge backlash like against it. Was like, oh my god, this is another reason why I don't fucking like that game, other than the pandery ass voices and shit, because they're not
Mhm.
actually like hiring or employing real fucking. But I'm like, that's not true. The team was the team. Like, it's not like they
Yeah.
went through like hired based upon these AI images. It was just one day they needed a fucking brainstorm and they jumped on and they typed in a couple of things and saw what the fucking computer put
Right.
out.
And they generate like not generated, but they figured some shit out, you
Yeah,
know?
I mean, like Childish Gambino we wouldn't have it if we didn't have some AI that was literally like, well, not that, yeah, no, that's AI. And that was like, hey, look, if we type in a word, we need to match it to another word. And
I don't know if I
yeah,
would call that AI. It's more of an algorithm,
I
but I
guess,
see what
yeah,
you're saying.
yeah.
The
The
Wu-Tang name generator.
Wu-Tang name generator, which is just a kind of random thing.
Right.
He put his name in there and blam, like we have
Yeah.
Childish
It's
Gambino.
up to you as the human, as the independent thinking entity, because no matter what happens, the artificial intelligence is never gonna be an independent thinking entity.
Yeah,
Like, as an independent thinking person or entity, whatever, you get to control the direction, the output, et cetera, right? And I think
right.
that like for this like MAPPA shit, a lot of these guys are overworked. You could possibly use AI to kind of like
Absolutely. Give a nigga a break. It's like,
yeah,
hey,
do the
look, man.
bulk of the bullshit work, and then you can just do some tweaks.
Yeah, because if they were able to take an AI and use it the same way they use an Excel spreadsheet to make your fucking math easier, right? And just go in
Mhm.
and be like, hey, look, I've got fucking 8 key principal frames, right? And these are all things that I definitely need. And I've trained an AI to basically say, hey, I need to complete this movement. I've got a character that starts here and ends up here. If you can
Right.
fucking complete the movement in that, and I can go in and tweak the
Right.
mistakes it makes as it fucking animates the next 34 to 60 frames so that I can get an image, like
Mhm.
that
Why
makes
would I not do that?
why would you not do that? And I feel like some people would be like, but that's a person's job. That's a person.
And it is
That's
a
a person.
person's job. But
Yeah.
I think that even then, like that creates another job. It's just like, hey, you double check the fucking animation or whatever, right? I don't know.
Yeah. And suddenly you don't have carpal tunnel because all you're doing is going in and making minute fixes to something that's already been put out.
Agreed.
Like, or I don't have to
Wholeheartedly.
wait. I don't have to wait a week for my fucking manga because you've managed to.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I mean, and I don't
Maybe
mind
not
waiting the
manga.
week because, like, I feel like that adds the human component to it. But it's also just like
Yeah,
if you do find yourself in a position where like, oh, this shit is fucked up, like you can consider it.
absolutely. It's a situation where I don't think that we're trying to take. We're not trying to take human eyes off the project. We're just trying to, again, make it more. Well, we can't. I can't speak to the intent of the AI, right?
Right.
Because
And also I don't do animation work, so it's hard for me to like even make that comment in
absolutely. But
a
if there was like an
definitive manner.
AI editor, right, it would be a situation very similar. It was like
Yeah.
this is an AI, and you use it to edit your videos. All you need to do is plug in a particular YouTuber style, and then voila, here you want PewDiePie style videos. Blam, here you go.
Boom, you can do that. You can even
Yeah,
I don't think we're that sophisticated yet, but I do
not
think
yet,
we're
no,
going
definitely
in that
not.
direction.
But that's the thought process, right? And it's another thing where it's like, these apps, they have different categories. Say, hey, you want to do it in the classical style, and
Mhm.
this is like, hey, we fed this AI fucking 100 historical images, and this is what it came out with. This is the thought
Right.
process.
I mean, but and even then, like I don't feel like a lot of people have had like enough issue with like AIs writing articles or like AIs fucking
Yeah,
like auto generating edits that aren't necessarily
I mean, you got the deep fakes and shit where you can go through, but that's not. I think that requires is still like a human
yeah, it
touch.
still requires human touch. Artificial intelligence is always going to require the human touch, even if we
For the
get it
most
to
part.
the point where you have to kill the motherfucker to stop it from fucking doing crazy shit.
Still needed a human situation, man. Even in the Matrix, the humans were involved.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
No, I get it. Like as far as the tool goes, man, I feel bad, man, because once upon a time, man, we was hiring little young niggas to draw shit for our binders, man, and them niggas might be out of a
If
job,
you
man.
think we're gonna have the pre-pro conversation we had, we're
All right,
not
man.
gonna
I
do
was
that.
trying. I was trying, man.
We're not gonna put ourselves in a position to get canceled like that, even though it is a
All right,
great bit. We're
like a
not gonna do that.
fantastic.
It's a great bit though. Y'all gonna have to pay for that though.
You have to take some time, goddamn it. Take some
Yeah.
motherfucking time.
Take some money to get these accents.
Well, yo, with that though, man, I pretty much got it. You got anything else to add on the AI thought process, anything like that?
Nah, not for real. Not on the AI process itself.
All right, cool, cool, cool. Well, shit. In which case, man, I'm pretty much I got it. I'm good. I gotta get some dinner in me, man. So, in
Yeah,
which
for
case,
sure.
that's what's up. Hey, man, it's the well spoken token. You know I love you. Thank you so much for checking out the pod. Thank you so much for checking out all our videos. If you haven't checked out last week's episode, go check out Rhea Parker. It's the anime lingerie episode. Even if you're not even interested in the conversation, you can still go stare at a beautiful woman for at least an hour and a half while she speaks to two dunderheaded niggas like us. But again, we love you. We thank you. Be expecting more content. Be expecting more stuff dropping for the end of the year. We love you. Merry Christmas if you haven't already. Happy Hanukkah if it's Hanukkah for you. All the fucking holidays that show up in there. And Happy New Year if you don't see us before the New Year as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's the Well Spoken Token. Say bye to the people, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna say bye to the people, nigga. You know better than that. Hey, y'all have a merry fucking Boxing Day, man. I catch y'all on the lip.
Merry Boxing Day. It's the Well Spoken Token. I'm out.
Peace.